Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. This week's episode, we finally have 3.9. I've been kind of putting off Answer the Call because there's no point in talking about it. Also, just a note, it's really hot in here, so if you hear any noise outside, Emmy's doing laundry and all that stuff, so I just can't keep the door closed. I was burning up in here, so I apologize. Also, the cat's usually running in and out. But anyway, 3.9 is out. And in my opinion, I'm going to start out with my opinions, so maybe it can spur some conversation about your opinions, I think it's really good as far as some of the content that they put in, because it's a lot of little things that make the current gameplay elements, so like some of the missions, mining, and cargo hauling, a bit more interesting. Some things of note, obviously, the ability to have to eat and drink, but not have it be so forward-facing. Like, it feels like DayZ in the sense of, like, I'm watching my water and I'm watching my food go down, but it's not in the overwhelmingly, like, annoying kind of way that a lot of survival games are. It just lets you know, hey, take care of yourself. Don't treat your character badly is how I'm looking at it. I thought it was a really good initial implementation of it. So far, so good as far as I'm concerned. I'm actually really interested to see what a lot of people think about that one, because that's the one mechanic that has been added to Star Citizen that I don't think anyone expected to have because of the way they talked about it in the past. The other ones are some of the unlawful missions have been really cool. The prisoner escape mission on the Caterpillar, on the Caterpillar is really, really fun, and it's really well thought out, right? Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but at the end of the initial part of the mission, there's like a little sneaky trick that's played on you, and then if you're doing it where you're getting a criminal rating, you constantly have NPC police coming in and trying to kill you. So it's a very complicated mission. It requires multiple people for sure, which is really cool. And then the prison implementation, I think, has been really awesome. I think it's going to be constantly in flux and balanced on the amount of time that it would take you to mine the gems and get out versus escape the prison and get out. But the escape route of the prison is legendary, I think. I think it was really, really well thought out. I obviously posted a video of the way that I escaped from prison, but so it looks easier than it was, but you don't see the amount of mistakes and time over the entire Evocati cycle plus some of the PTU cycle to figure out how to get out of it and post that video. It was really well thought out. Sneaky little tricks and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. What else? The mining consumables. Mining consumables, I don't like. I think they put mining consumables in with the current implementation of the lasers, and it's just not working for me. If you have a helix, and especially if you have 3 helixes on a mole, and you use an optimum, like the entire bar is just a green bar, and it's like just easy mode. It's kind of silly. So it's one of those things where I think it's gonna need another pass. I think mining eventually they're gonna have to go back to it and try and make it a bit more interesting again. And but I think they are, and I am ready for them to move on from mining as well, and start moving into things like salvage and refueling and repairing and all that stuff. I think if they keep iterating on mining forever, then we never get to those next steps. But what else? I mean, other than that, it's the really like immersion things, like going out in the snow and your character shaking, and when your character's shaking, you open the Moby glass and everything shakes. I like it. I like it a lot. So, the things that I don't like is a lot of issues that we had in 3.8 carried over to 3.9. I'm still having issues repairing and refueling and rearming when landing on a pad. Area 18 right now is a disaster. I have to recopy my account. I know they told us to avoid it, but obviously that's an issue, right? Is not being able to land on Area 18. The wind is really neat. It's actually sometimes like really hard to deal with. Like I wasn't even able to land on Hurston because there was a storm there. It made it really tough to land. It was just pushing my ship away from the landing pad. So just a lot of the immersion things have really added on to the current gameplay that we have and make it more interesting. And just New Babbage in general is beautiful. It's really nice to see this like high-tech, high-end style of architecture and design and interiors and all that. And yeah, I think that's really it. So those are my thoughts. I know this is going to be a really long intro to the show, and I apologize for that. But I also want to throw everything out there because we don't have that many callers in at the moment. But I really do want to hear what you guys think about 3.9, even if it's just something minor. Like I enjoy it. It's been fun to watch. It promotes group play. Group play is another one, right? The friends list has been a massive improvement. I know it's something like kind of minor, but it's a huge improvement and made the game a lot easier to deal with. So, all right, with that said, we're going to jump into our first caller, who is First Emperor. Hey, First, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well.
Yeah, man.
Very well.
Good. So what do you think about 3.9? What are your initial thoughts about it and everything?
Well, I have to say I didn't really play in that sense. I went straight to the prisons just to check them out, since I'm not planning on ending up there when I actually do play.
Yeah.
So I've spent 10 plus hours just in the prisons.
Wow.
Just because I went in blind. I knew how you would start the escape, but I decided to not go the mainstream route and just check the mines themselves if there is any way to escape.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say I really tried to find anything that looked like it, and those were pretty much my first 6 hours there. And I looked very closely, and if there is a way to escape through the mines, which I kind of hope, I didn't find it.
Yeah, I didn't either in Evo. It took me a really long time to find the initial escape route.
Yeah, I knew where to look for that, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went there. That was my last session.
Okay.
And the design of it is very good. I liked it a lot as well. But there is a big but, and that's the janky movement that you have in there. Like the combination of the gravity and animation issues that you have. Like I mentioned it in the stream before, if there's a stone that is just 1 centimeter high, for example, and you drop down, you go from ducking into walking right away, and that can be deadly in there because you don't expect the speed change. Or if you just walk around slowly and the same stone sets you into floating and you end up somewhere you shouldn't be. So it feels a lot like you're on ice, which shouldn't be the case. But that's something that we'll have to look into anyways.
Yeah, the low gravity makes it a little funky sometimes, right?
Yeah. One of the biggest issues for me personally that I found out was that they had VoIP enabled with head tracking. And it's so natural for me to use. I forget I'm using it, and that messes up my aiming. And you need to place your jumps so precisely. So if you look just a little slightly to the left, you aim somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it took me about 4 hours to just think of disabling it while I'm jumping around. So yeah, I was my own enemy as well. It went a lot easier after I disabled it.
Yeah.
But just going in blind, finding your way through the maze was really well done.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, you know, a lot of the times, like, people complain about CIG wasting time on certain features, right? When caves came in, people were like, "Oh, why do we need caves right now?" I'm sure I was one of those people too. Why do we need caves right now? But the fact that they have repurposed that tech now multiple times. Like, it was initially, I think the cave tech was initially the modular space station tech that turned into the cave tech that turned into our jump point whenever we get that, right? So they're repurposing this hard work that they did, quote unquote, delaying features early on, probably to work on things like that. But now look at the results from it. You can't deny that the aesthetic and the feel of that escape is not amazing. You know what I mean?
Yes, for the escape route. No, for the rest of the prison.
Really? I like the mines
it's,
too. Oh, the actual prison? You don't like the way it looks and feels?
How far did you go in? I mean,
I've been pretty.
I've been in all
pretty much through all of it, I think.
The mines. I have been in all 3 of the mines. I went to all the caves that are afterwards. And after the first 2 sections, it's very uninspired. Like, it's repetition without end. There are very little points of interest in there. And it got to the point that one transition from the actual mines to the caves looked exactly the same. There's so much reusage of the same assets that it feels you get lost just because of it, which is not bad for caves because that's how it works. If you are in an area that kind of looks the same all the time.
Yeah, don't you think that might be intentional, especially when you look at some of the puzzles in the prison escape?
Yes, but to me, the design of the caves feels mostly lazy.
Or procedural instead of lazy, I would say.
No, because they did very, very good stuff with procedural tech, so it doesn't look the same all the way. It just feels it's missing a lot of assets and things that they planned to make it more interesting, to have more small points of interest that can help to orient yourself. So I'm just going to say it's going to get better, probably. They only have one type of caves in general right now, so
true.
It will get better.
Yeah. So and it's important that we say, like, this. These are our initial thoughts about 3.9, right? Because I know, I imagine you and most people that are interested in Star Citizen watched Luke's panel on the prisons, right? And there's lots of things that are planned for this thing that aren't currently in, right? Like, you can't go to the commissary and get oxygen pens or food or water or more things that allow you to stay in the mines longer and a bigger backpack, things like that, right?
Yeah, I think one of the issues I currently have with the balancing for it being too easy to get out again might be just because all the features in the gameplay loop inside of the prison are just missing.
Yeah.
So the suit that we have are pretty much the end game in the prison, so you can walk around freely.
They should be really warm, right?
Yeah.
And your water maybe level should go down a lot faster.
Well, it doesn't at all. Like, in all the time
it started in this patch. It started, so if you didn't play this last patch, they're properly working now. It
started the moment I escaped. Not in the prison itself.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. It's probably a bug. But that's also when it started to heat up. Like, in the mines, I was constantly, I didn't need to drink or food or anything. The moment I went out of there, I started to heat up instantly and get thirsty. So it might be actually a bug.
Maybe, yeah.
Probably is.
The one thing that I really like is, damn, I don't want to spoil it too much, but the escape route, once you do get out, the ability to ride the Ursa.
Oh, I didn't find that one.
Yeah, so, okay. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to listen, mute now. I'll wave my hands when we come back, okay? As you're leaving, there's a room with blue lights. And it's before you climb the stairs to get out. There's a room with blue lights, and there's a panel that has codes on it. And it's codes for these containers that actually have an Ursa rover inside of them, and you can take the Ursa rover and drive it to an outpost and spawn a ship.
Oh,
Or
nice, didn't
you
know
could
that.
drive it to an outpost, or and have somebody fly their ship to that outpost, or you could drive it to an outpost and you'll be out of the prison area, so whoever is picking you up to escape you from prison will not get the trespassing fine.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to wave my hands. We're back.
Yeah,
No more spoilers.
yeah. The moment I was out there, I started losing the
Yeah,
rest
because it's
of my
super
oxygen.
hot.
Yeah, that I didn't even try to explore anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think the prison escape itself is great. What you kind of need is the AI realizing that you're trying to escape, and that exit isn't really hidden at all.
Okay, here's the thing, though. This is the thing that makes no sense to me, is it's an automated prison. There's not supposed to be guards there, and now there's random guards walking around. So when you jump to the escape in front of them, it feels weird because they're dumb at the moment and don't realize that you're trying to leave. I think maybe that's one of the ways that they're going to balance the escape from mining as well, is that eventually the guards will be like, hey, what are you doing over there? And then start firing or something.
Yeah, I mean, if it's the only way to escape through that route forever, for now it is, of course, but that's, I mean, there will be no prisoners anymore, because at one point everyone knows how to get.
Yeah. But I think...
But yeah, as a tier 0, it's pretty good.
Yeah. And I also think that, like, like some people I'm seeing say in Twitch chat, like, oh, people are escaping in 4 minutes now. They're speed running it. Yeah, like some people speed run things because they're good at them. But most people
20 times.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Most people won't be able to do it in a very fast time.
And that's the one record time that you tried 20 times to get out of there, and you'll always fall down, because especially after one misstep and you're way.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think that's also the first time they actually did a classic game level design. I can't remember anything else. So it's also nice to see when they do something by hand. Like all the other stuff is pretty much procedural or just ships.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see when they kind of use their procedural deck and spend a lot of time to custom build something, that they can design a well-made storyline, so to speak, in levels. And that's something I think a lot of people missed. So it's nice to see that as well.
Agreed. So,
or I missed it.
Is there any part of the game outside of the prison that you've like watched, or are you kind of waiting until you experience it yourself?
Well, the active status system is something I've been looking forward to for a long time, and extreme weather conditions actually have an effect. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Also, the survival mechanics that are not really that survival mechanics, because it's very, very, how do you call it? It's not painful at all. Like, it happens, you get hungry, you get thirsty, but you don't get thirsty too fast if there is not a very good reason for it. So I think the balance there, what I have seen, because it's just what I've seen, looks very, very good.
I have not managed to have negative effects happen to me yet.
Yeah, I think it's not where it should be, but it feels like the intent that they have with the system is pretty much good for everyone, also those that don't like to go drink every. I think maybe they really try to balance it like in real life, where you have to drink a couple of times a day, or you should, and that is pretty good for the game as well if you talk real time.
Yeah.
So I would expect, if I play a 6-hour session, that I have to drink at least one. You'll survive for 3 days, but you should drink a lot. So
Yeah,
I think that's pretty well done.
agreed.
Not finished, of course, but it goes very much in the direction that I would want it as well. Because if you take Conan, for example, the amount of water you have to drink and eating
Non-stop,
in a
it feels
manner,
like.
yeah, it's just a gameplay mechanic, and just that to make you do something else than hacking it at trees. So yeah, that road is much better in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, that's pretty much it. What I can add. I mean, I'm interested to see how the weather actually affects flying and stuff like this,
Yeah.
and exploration. I mean, that's what I did for the 10 hours in the caves, pretty much trying to find a way out on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. That adds a lot for me personally.
Okay. Well,
And
all right,
I'm
first.
really looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to more too. I think this is a really good step in the right direction for the game.
Yep.
It feels really good.
Yep.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the call first.
You're welcome.
Be
See
good.
you soon.
Yeah, man. And for those of you guys that don't know, First doesn't stream too much Star Citizen, but he streams a lot of VR games. So First is like a big member of our community here. So if you haven't yet, make sure you hit the follow button. If you're watching on Twitch chat for First Emperor, and if not, I'll put a link for his Twitch channel in the description for the YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube. All right, so we're going to bring in our next caller. That is Henrik, but we're going to first go to one of our tweets. So Mud Trucka on Twitter says, I was surprised that I like Star Citizen 3.9 actor. He says active status system, but actor status system. It gives you just a little bit of anxiety to keep food and drink up, and the extreme weather makes you want to be inside. New Babbage is a great landing zone, especially Wally's Bar. Yeah, man, I was actually watching Astropub act as a bartender at Wally's Bar, and like random people were coming up and talking to him. It was really cool. It was really cool. So, all right, with that said, let's go ahead and bring on Henrik. But I agree with Mud. The slight, it's very tiny bit of anxiety, but you keep your eye on it and you're paying attention to it, but you don't worry that you're gonna die as much. Hey, Henrik.
Mike.
How's it going, man?
It's going great.
That's
in
good.
This swapping time.
Yes. So, what do you think about 3.9?
Actually, I'm quite impressed about it. I don't know how, but it feels a lot more stable, at least on your stream, than many of the others. First wave.
Yeah.
I got in wave 2, so I haven't tried it that much. Only yesterday I was able to.
What'd you do when you played? Did you go to prison like everyone else?
No, actually, I haven't managed. I have a crime status too, but I haven't managed to get it in prison yet.
Ah. Well,
so
try and hold off as long as you can. See how long you last.
Yeah, maybe I should go and hack those down then.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm quite impressed of it. I did though had to 30Ks yesterday.
Yesterday's patch has been really unstable, and it's today's patch as well on Sunday. So hopefully this week it gets a little bit better. But the previous ones were quite stable. I guess now that they're bringing in more people, it's getting a little messy.
Yeah, I think the servers has pounded a little more than before.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm quite impressed about it. Also the status system, the new status system. It's actually extremely easy and quite intuitive to work with.
I thought it would have been really annoying based on their...
Yes, I thought as well.
They did that AMA on Spectrum, and I was getting a little worried that like this was going to be bad. And it so far feels okay. Like I find myself going, I feel like it should go a little faster, you know? So we'll see.
But yes, and also the building blocks that's in now. I accidentally got myself locked inside of one of the what's it called, the not outpost, but the space station on top of that is handing over the different cities I got stuck in because they haven't been put over to the new system yet.
Oh,
So I forgot how the buttons looks like. That was a bit embarrassing.
Okay, so you haven't played too much, so you haven't gone to prison yet. Have you seen any of the prison stuff?
I had seen any of the prisons of one of my crime stats is actually trying to get someone from prison there, but the only problem is I have had the bug where it is constant traveling into a planet when I try to get there.
Okay.
So, but I have been over there and flying around and destroying all the cannon or all the turrets over there.
I actually haven't done any of that yet. How is it? Is it tough?
Nope.
Just standard like the other ones?
Actually, I don't know because someone was there before me, so I only have one turret trying to hit me. So
Gotcha.
I think some of them, I could only find them 3 turrets over there, so it seems a lot easier than the outpost because they have 5 turrets that are in very close proximity, where the prison only have 3 or 4 turrets that are spaced quite far apart.
So it's a little easier, yeah.
It's a little easier because you can focus on one turret instead of having to worry about all of the other turrets hitting you at the same time.
True. Yeah, the one thing that I'm curious about that I haven't done any of yet, but I've heard a little bit about it, is now you're starting to get people going to the prison to kill people trying to escape from prison. And it's like, all these people were complaining about griefers in 3.8. That was like the main subject of 3.8. It was fucking ridiculous. And now it's like it's coming full circle where like the lawful players are getting their revenge. It feels like on these griefers that they, because everyone that's in prison is a griefer.
That's funny. I saw Maya yesterday got followed by someone playing goblin sounds after him.
Oh, I've heard some creepy like things. People acting really creepy inside the caves and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, VoIP will take these things to a whole new level. I'm sure.
I'm just waiting to try to break out, and I see someone falling screaming down from one of the platform from top in the big room, the big area. Could you imagine that?
Yes, I can actually. So what else? Is there anything else you want to add?
Not much.
Okay, you got to give it some more playtime.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I haven't tried to be in overridden before. Is it only in Area 18 where it is happening? Where it takes control over your ship?
Yeah, I mean it does it around Hurston sometimes, but it's incredibly broken at Area 18. There's probably some work going on with the like the ATC override thing where like the I forgot what it's called, the safe areas where you can fly and where you can't, and there's some issue at Area 18 where you can't get near any pad without it taking over your ship and pushing you out. So, and then any ship you spawn just blows up. No fly zones, thank you. Yeah, so I think they were probably doing some work on it and screwed it up, and we're suffering a little bit for it for the moment.
Also in the new, what's the new area called? It is...
New Babbage?
Yeah, New Babbage. Have you tried to fly on the... take a small ship and fly on the terrain rail?
No, can you?
Yes, you can.
Oh, nice. What I did was I took a ground vehicle and rode across
Yeah.
the lake to the space station, which was really cool.
That looks really nice as well, but it is quite funny when you get a small
Yes.
ship and you're just flying along the rails, and at some point you blow up. But I have the train. I think it clips through me at some point.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to give that a try one day. That's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Henrik, I guess we'll let you go and then get some more playtime in, and I'm sure we'll talk more about 3.9 in a future episode.
I'm sure about it.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. All right, and we do have some more callers popping in, but like we had done previously, let's jump to another tweet. So, guys, you can use hashtag ATC because it's pretty easy to search for it, so it's a lot simpler since everybody calls this ATC anyway, instead of having the 17 there. So, hashtag ATC got used by sirgreenlemon, and he says, "Well, I think the additions to 3.9 are adding greatly to the immersion of the game. It's still very apparent that the whole game is built around the idea of waiting. Wait for your insurance claims, waiting for elevators, waiting for quantum travel to change, to complete. This needs to change, in my opinion." Yeah, to some extent, I think, I don't know. I used to feel very strongly about this. The insurance claims bother me still. I don't like the way insurance is at the moment. The waiting for elevators, I mean, we're talking a few seconds, not really that big of a deal. And I think I see Zorky saying in chat, welcome to playing an MMO. To some extent, that's true, right? A lot of MMOs, things take some time, you know, to quote him in chat there, it's just part of how it goes because you want to really be immersed in the world that you're in, and part of it is waiting for things to happen, right? So it kind of makes some sense to me. Now, quantum travel, I always said, should be a little bit quicker, and as you upgrade your drives, it does get pretty quick, and it's not that bad. So I'm pretty comfortable. I used to be the biggest proponent of quantum travel needs to change completely. This is garbage. And now that we have these faster drives that you have to pay a lot of money to upgrade to, I like it. The problem with me is more the insurance factor on things. So for 3.9, them adding to the immersion, I think adds to what we currently have there, right? So what do you do while you're in quantum travel? You go to the mess hall in your Carrick, grab a bottle of water from the fridge, drink some water, grab an apple, eat that, go back to the bridge, discuss what you're going to do with the next mission. I feel like there's enough there that quantum travel waiting is not as boring. And we know that they want to address that in the future because we saw that on a past SEL before. So, all right, Sir Green, thank you very much for the tweet. And again, if anybody else wants to tweet, this is for the people watching live, obviously, use hashtag ATC. And if you want to @ me as well, it just makes it easier to find. And now, moving on to our next caller, who I've been playing lots of 3.9 with, is Reezer. Hey, Reezer, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Not much, man. So we've talked a lot on stream, but obviously for the podcast, what's our initial thoughts of 3.9?
Just to add to the quantum drive question, so I think quantum drive is not an issue with ships that can equip size 2 and size 3 quantum drives, because those have the options like the XL1 and the TS2 that can just jet around the system, and those ships usually have an interior that you can also walk around, do other kind of stuff. So I don't see the issue. I only see the issue with the ships that only have the small quantum drive option, because those, all of them are really slow, and those are the ships that usually are single seat, so you cannot do anything else. I was flying my Saber around testing weapons, and I had the best quantum drive all around, and it's still like 30 million kilometer, like in 8 minutes or something like that. And you can always only just see maybe overclock one of the weapons. That's gonna take like 20 seconds at best. So you have nothing to do in those. I wish they made some changes, given some better options in size 1 quantum drives.
I think.
Okay. Anyway,
no, we can keep on for just a moment. is like he says this needs to change. And I think you and I probably would be on the same page for this because we've been flying on the Carrack a lot lately, right? And it feels really nice to have that sort of carrier-based ship where you have a ship inside of the ship. We just don't have carrier-based ships right now. The only thing that's weird to me is I guess solo play is kind of punishing for a player. Like, again, you said you were flying around in your Saber, you know. Yeah, it's just a little funky.
That can get boring.
But what would probably happen is we'll get further balance on these things, and maybe as you bring in carrier-based ships that are going to be flying even faster, you know, and size 3s might get, you know, all things could change as far as that goes. And I don't know, solo play, it just seems like maybe it's a little more punishing than it should be. Is probably what the issue really is. So
in chat, Jaeger said
don't talk to chat. Don't talk to chat. Right. Don't talk to chat. Okay. This is a podcast. Okay. We don't talk to chat.
So in general, 3.9. First, I was really disappointed because of the Idris mission missing. You know, when they announced it, I was super hyped for it. I know you've talked plenty, so I will keep it short. But this would have been the first experience that would have required real organization and group play. You know, working together, orchestrating the attack, stuff like that. That's what I'm looking forward to mostly.
Exactly.
And there is no such experience in the game right now. Like, I've been thinking, I have pretty much done most of the missions over and over, and I cannot think of a single mission except the new unlawful mission that we have done recently with you on stream that would require more than 2 players. Just none of them. Every single mission in the game is more enjoyable than that doing in a smaller group of 2 and 3 people maximum.
Yeah, so even the 890 jump. Even the 890 jump. But I think the reason why, though, is not necessarily because the mission isn't properly balanced difficulty-wise for extra players. I feel like it's more because the AI is just that horrible still. To some extent. I think I think you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's more I think the 890 jump mission should be that mission that should be shared, but the fact that the AI just stand there and you can kind of pick them off is the problem, you know? Where the extra wrinkle on the Caterpillar mission is really the fact that once you get a criminal rating, you start getting waves of police coming in to try and take you out. So it's this sense of I have to be quick, or I'm screwed. I'm going to be abandoned here, or I have to have like what we did when we played was we attacked the Caterpillar, but then we kept somebody in the ship to get us out. Because if you just leave the ship there, the AI police come in and just blow it up, and then you're stranded. So, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, because I kind of interrupted you.
And you are making a good point. Like they could just make a quick fix to the 890 jump mission, so it would be a lot more immersive for a group of players. Why not just keep pirates coming in constantly? So someone has to be inside the ship, and they would have to fight. Like, you know, right now you go there, it's 2 Cutlass Blacks, and you kill them, it's all done. You're ready to go into the 890 jump. Why not have them constantly come? Like, there are some strong and challenging AI pirates, like the Valkyrie. They can keep coming in with constellations, stuff like that. I don't know. Like, I think, especially with the new combat changes, which I would like to talk about shortly after, is that space combat feels so much better for me in this new patch.
Yeah, and that's really funny because there was a podcast last night with the strictly combat guys, and they feel the exact opposite. There's like they feel that there's only a few ships that are combat viable now instead of most of them.
No way. I have been doing missions in my cart wall, which is one of the absolute worst ship, and I've been having fun with it. I put on 2 miniguns because I wanted to test out the new sound for them.
They're PvP centric though, so maybe that's why.
PvP.
Yeah.
So I said it before Mike on the stream. PvP in Star Citizen currently is like a hard KW for me.
It is. It's a massive KW. The fact that anybody's even trying it is insane.
Yeah.
But if they don't try it, they'll never fix it. So it's like this. These guys. I feel bad for them, dude. I feel bad for anybody trying to PvP, man. I feel it's horrible for them. It's horrible.
5 tick rate, dude. 5 tick rate immediately makes me never play PvP.
Yeah.
Right now in the game. All right. Anyway, so I think the quality of life improvements have been the biggest thing for me. Like the friend list also. These are such great improvements. I didn't think I would enjoy this much. So that's great. Like the friend list improvement is amazing. It's still a mess to have like 10 plus people group up in the same place, especially with all the bugs that can happen with anybody.
Yeah. We experienced it this morning. It took us forever to get going.
Yeah, it was like one hour of preparation to get everybody to hurrah to.
Yeah, which we're not.
We had the issue.
We learned our lessons. We won't do that anymore. We're just gonna go and have people join us as we go.
I think so. Yeah. Okay, so back to ship combat. Strictly talking about lawful ship combat, just how it feels to play against AI.
Okay.
I've been testing out stuff. I am not sure if the sledge nerfs are officially in. I tried the sledge on my saber. It feels overpowered still. Like
okay.
In like 5 to 10 seconds, you can kill Buccaneer. Almost can kill the Cutlass Blacks. Even with the new shape changes, the AI changes that would make them more difficult to kill. The sledges still feel a lot, probably the best choice right now. But again, that's probably the only thing that I would bring up as a disappointment. All in all, the fact that they can move at a faster speed, it makes AI ship combat a lot more fun. I don't know. I've been having a lot of fun. I kept going back to the more difficult ship combat missions, like CS3, CS4, Bounty Hunters, to check the more like military tier ships.
Yeah.
And doing the Crusader mission, where you have to go to several locations, the mercenary force retake. I think I have been having a lot of fun. The new weapons from the the Prowler seem fairly balanced. And of course, the new sound design. Like, I think we underestimate how important sound is in a game that's all about immersion. The new sound design changes they made, the new weapon sounds they have given to specific guns, like the minigun, the Badgers, or the laser repeaters. I have been enjoying. It's been a lot more immersive than ever before.
Yeah.
That said, since the ship changes were made so the AI ships can go faster than SEM speeds, it made turrets even more frustrating and even more useless. Like, turrets at this point in the game, like, try to hit an M50 on a 5 tick rate server with a moving ship inside the turret with no assist whatsoever. You are never ever in 1,000 years gonna kill.
Using your words, that's a hard KW.
Yeah, that's another hard KW. Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm telling you, like, people crap on turret gameplay for a good reason. Turret gameplay is like a 0 out of 10, like a solid 0 to 0.1 out of 10 right now. And I think just simply giving the player Gimbal Assist on the turrets.
I think they talked about doing
like
it.
5 or 6. Like, why not? Gimbal every single turret in the game is what I would do right now. And like, keep in mind, it's also frustrating because you see that you are trying your hardest, like when you were in the Korok turret, and it's not hitting, and the mouse movement makes your hand tired real quick because of all the like quick movement, and it's tiresome and it's unrewarding. So it's like the worst of both worlds. I think just gimbal all the turrets in the game for now and see how it goes after they increase tick rate, after they do some more balancing. I don't know. It's absolute garbage right now, unfortunately. And that's coming from a guy who would love to be like a multi-crew combat style.
Yeah.
I would love to be immersed in that kind of gameplay.
Agreed. Agreed wholeheartedly. Okay. They've talked about putting I'm almost positive they've talked about putting gimbals on turrets on some show, and that was like the only place that they would leave them, kind of thing. I don't know though, because turrets are so tough that I see. Maybe it was just us discussing it here one time, Reezer, where it just it's the only place that I'd like to see Gimbal Assist stick around. I really don't want it on the ships, but seeing it on the turrets just makes sense because of how hard you have to fight the pilot and where they're going, and yeah, it'll just make it a little bit easier.
Just thinking about it, if some guy decides to sit inside a ship, like inside a seat that only has control over guns, should have a significant influence over the battle. They have to feel influential. They have to feel like they are in control. And right now, it's just so unrewarding. It's not even funny.
Yeah, and I think the most important part of it is I know it comes down to like the way Chris Roberts looks at this game. Sometimes it feels like where he's making a movie and not making a video game, right? So have you ever watched like Star Wars or, some of these other sci-fi movies, or even just movies in general where they have some sort of a turret? The turret usually isn't firing at the same thing that maybe the main ship is. So like the vision that I have in my head for let's say a hammerhead or even a Carrack is the Carrack's going and flying in one direction, aiming at a certain ship, like maybe a larger one, but then there's all these fighter pilots swarming around the big ship, and the turret gunners are moving all over the place, firing at those ships that move faster than the big ship. The big ship should never be able to track an M50, name it. It doesn't really matter. It shouldn't be able to track them, perfect. And that's what the turret should be doing, right? So the idea of saying like adding Gimbal Assist to a turret would be OP or something that somebody might argue is it's really to try and recreate that scenario from sci-fi movies and other sci-fi experiences, right? Where it's just chaos and you are a part of it, like Reezer said. You want to feel a part of the battle. And when I've played, Reezer's been the captain most of the time on our Carrack when we play, and I've been in the turrets a lot. And the strategy is that we all aim at the same individual ship, including...
That's the only way.
It's the only way. And it's just...
There's no other way.
It just doesn't feel good,
Yeah, I call the target, I focus the nose of the ship at the target,
and then we all...
them. So,
it's boring.
You guys are trying to hit it and pray that it get destroyed.
Yeah, it's boring. It doesn't recreate that experience of chaos. But
no, it doesn't. Gimbal would make it from a 0.5 out of 10. They would make turrets to I would say a
5 out of 10. Yeah.
Yes.
Instantly.
It would feel so good. Imagine this. You sit inside the ball turret on the Carrack, and there is a small fighter M50 flying by, maybe making a mistake, just turning around, and you yourself with no other assist, while the pilot is trying to make his way to a destination, you solo kill that M50, for example, or you finish him off essentially. That would give you the satisfaction that really is completely removed from the current turret gameplay experience, I would say.
Yeah,
they need to have that changed.
I agree.
Okay, so also just now before you started answer the call with Jerry, we were trying the special missions from Lorville, and they also fixed all of them. Every single one was working. We tried the Miles Eckhart mission where you have to go kill the Aegis Eclipse in at one of the moons of Hearthstone. That was working perfectly. We also tried the one mission that Hearthstone gave you from the Central Business District. Or I even heard a voice line from there, which is an extremely rare occurrence in Star Citizen, that you see the guy talking to you. It's still glitched, the guy was sitting inside the ground besides his table, not on the chair or anywhere, but we could hear the voice line working properly, and the mission was actually working. So right now, all ground missions, I have never had an issue with ground missions right now. They actually work, so you can go do them. It's simplistic, it's repetitive,
The AI is still derpy.
Is derpy as hell, but they seem to work at least. And the turrets were made so much power. Like that's the only real challenging part of those. Like the turrets, we were flying in a Vanguard with like fully upgraded shields and everything, and the turrets ate my shield up in like 10 seconds. The turrets protecting the base. So they made some good changes to those missions, and I'm looking forward to something of a more complex FPS mission or an FPS experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and also
I was just going to say, is there anything else?
Yes. So of course it's a PTU. I still have a bunch of like random bugs popping up that I can't really make sense of. Like enemy targets are marked with a question mark, and not like a red triangle. It is strange because this is one of the times that you are also talking about a lot. Is it a bug? Is it intended? With Star Citizen, it's so difficult to tell sometimes. Should I have to scan them first so they pop up as a red triangle?
Yeah, but that's just
so it's probably a bug.
That's such a minor thing that isn't. It isn't a game-breaking experience. Where okay, the question mark is an item of interest, a thing of interest, I'll go fly over there. You know what I mean? Where there's a lot of game-breaking bugs, and like I find it funny that you bring that one up, is what I'm saying. Because there's so many other issues that are way worse. But again, that's my opinion. This could bother you that much, and that's fine, but like I would choose like 1,000 things over that.
Yeah, of course. It's not the main issue. It's just something that randomly pops up, and I don't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna. It's not that big of a deal. You are correct. Yeah, and the last thing I want to mention is voice comms still being complete garbage. Like in game,
they seem worse almost.
It doesn't work. I don't know.
Yeah, the fact that we've had to use Discord more to play is frustrating because the in-game comms when they work are really nice to use, and it hasn't been lately. It's kind of a bummer. But when we were playing yesterday, like, again, it's like those immersion things. I don't know if you noticed it, but the VoIP will sound a certain way as you're getting into, let's say, an elevator, and when the elevator door closes, it changes.
Yeah, I want it to work so
like, that
bad.
shit is so cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
But then again, like I was just finishing the mission with Jerry, and I kept hearing some random guys. I disconnected from global, from party, and from the group chat voice comms. I restarted everything, and I could still some random guys in another ship, anywhere else, talking about like we have incoming enemies on R6, stuff like that. I could hear them clearly talking.
Yeah,
so
it's weird.
I think it messes up with like you get placed into a group or like a voice comes on some other random guy and you can hear them. I don't know. It's a complete mess.
Yeah, it's super
really
odd.
Hope they figure it out.
Me too, man, because it's so important for, like, we keep talking about immersion, right? And all these things. Like, the most immersive thing is to be able to communicate to each other properly. But
I think so, absolutely.
Yeah, but all right, Reezer, we'll let you go. And
thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you
for having me.
Yeah, man, and don't look at chat because all they do is make fun of you. Okay, take it from me.
I know. I can take it. It is what it is. I love you, chat. Have a good one, Mike.
All right, Reezer, talk to you later. All right, so we do have another tweet here. So we have another tweet before we go. This is from Jan Albiez, and he says, I took my Karen out and explored the moons of Microtech, and visually, they are absolutely stunning. And one thing I don't know if people noticed yet is the, like, there's cloud shadows, and, I mean, just they continue to step it up and just make the game look that amazing. It's just, hopefully in the future, it's not just about looks, it's about everything, right? But for now, it's looking pretty amazing. So I got to agree, man. I got to agree. Pretty sweet stuff. But oh no, we had somebody. What happened? I think Drill backed out. Let me bring him in. Hey Drill, are you okay?
Yeah, you just sounded like you were wrapping up, so I got back in the green room.
No, I was wrapping up the call for him. And was getting ready to bring you in. All right, so how you doing, man?
Good, really good, man.
All right. So what do you think about 3.9? Obviously, we've been playing a lot together as well.
Yeah, we've been getting together for the last couple of weeks, and we've been kind of stressing the abilities of coordinating groups, and that's kind of good testing, I think.
Yeah.
From mining on a mole, just with like 4 guys, to trying to coordinate the people we did today, you can see where they're going.
Yeah.
But like Reezer said, VoIP is the big crutch there.
Yeah, it's the equalizer, is being able to communicate properly. So I don't know, but what else about 3.9? Just in general, like some of the little things. What are your initial? Have you been enjoying yourself, or maybe like I'll probably put this down pretty soon kind of thing?
Well, from 3.8, I'm a big ED player, but I'm starting to kind of shift over now to spending more time here because of how things are going.
Yeah, that's cool. What are some of the things that are pulling you over? Because I mean, Elite Dangerous is, while having similarities, I think is more different than similar than Star Citizen. So, what have you been seeing specifically from 3.9 that have really kind of excited you?
Being able to do things with people rather than kind of the instanced stuff that you get in ED.
Yeah.
Being able to be in a group and doing things and then see other PCs around doing their thing and not have to interact with them or not have them hinder you has been cool.
Okay. Anything like, because obviously you get out of your ship in this game, right? So so like, what do you think about microtech? Let's start with microtech. What have you thought about that? Like, that you do not get that in Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous looks very industrial, everything about it, from my experience.
I was digging when Razor was flying in front of a window when we were waiting at the spaceport.
Yeah.
Being able to do things like that, just the feeling of being in an actual location and having a world around you is a much greater in Star Citizen.
Yeah. This is sort of off topic, but if they ever put space legs in Elite, how do you think it would compare?
It's a little cartoony to my tastes, I think. I really only picked up Elite a couple years ago, waiting for this to go somewhere. So once it's live, I'm live.
Gotcha. All right. Well, anything else specifically about 3.9?
Haven't seen Prison yet. I look forward to it, and after hanging with you guys, I got a crime stat, so I'll be doing that today.
Yeah, probably. All right. Well, all right, Drill. I guess we'll leave it there then.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. And we'll see you in the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. Talk to you soon, Drill. And that'll do it for today's show. I think we're coming up right on an hour, which is kind of where we like to keep it. So sometimes we go like really long and have 2 hours, but the intention was always to have the show around an hour. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you do want to join me or any of some of the guys that we talked to today in 3.9, it is in Wave 2. That means that most people should have access to it if you've played Star Citizen in the past. So keep an eye out on that. And yeah, if you want to join us, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, discord.gg/SaltEMike. We have a really wonderful community there where we talk about not just Star Citizen, but all sorts of other games and topics. We have lots of topics of discussion in that Discord, all the way from flight sims to anime. So pretty awesome community that we have there. And yeah, that'll probably do it for the show. So make sure you guys leave a like, comment below, let me know what your initial thoughts of 3.9, whether you played it or not, if you watched it on a YouTube video or watched a Twitch live stream for it. What impression did it give to you? Are you excited, or are you still waiting for that thing? Because the thing about 3.9 and the thing about all the patches in recent times is we haven't had that mind-blowing, smack in the face, this is amazing kind of feature addition to Star Citizen probably since 3.0. Right, since they dropped moons and planets, maybe actually more like 3.4-ish, I think, when they put Hurston in. I think that was really one of the biggest milestones for when Star Citizen started getting more exciting. So the level of excitement for each patch seems to be going down. I would say, for the community, because the feature list gets shrunk smaller and smaller. But the experience, I think, of enjoying the game as you play it is starting to trend upwards, which is really nice. So, guys, again, that'll do it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week. And next week, we already have not a planned topic necessarily, but we do have a guest planned, and that's going to be Meyer, and I'm really excited to have him, and I'm excited to see you guys there. So again, guys, we'll catch you next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, everyone.